Namaskar, I am Dipak Sarnobat, Assistant Professor in English. In this video lecture, we are going to discuss one of the beautiful poems by Mario De Andrade, and the title of the poem is My Soul Has a Hat. It is a very realistic poem because the poet expresses his realistic point of view. When we lead our life, we are not serious sometimes, but when we realize the value of real life, then we want to lead our life in a meaningful way. The same approach is expressed by Mario De Andrade. Let's understand what the poet wants to tell through his poem My Soul Has a Hat. At the beginning of the poem, the poet says that when I counted my years, I realized that I have less time to live by. I have few years to live by. At that time, the poet feels like a child who has won a pack of candies. At first, the child eats all candies with pleasure but carelessly. But when he comes to understand that there are only few left in his hand, then only he begins to eat them with taste, carefully, intensely. The situation of the child and the situation of the poet's mind are not different. Both situations are the same because the child knows that there are only few candies in his hands. In the same way, the poet realizes that there are only few years to live his life with his family, with relatives, with friends, whatever may be. But he is not going to give any extra additional time by anyone, not even by God. In the next stanza, the poet says that he doesn't want to lead his life discussing minutes, laws, statutes, and internal regulations in meaningless meetings. For poet, all meetings are meaningless because they will not take anyone to any decision. He knows better. That is why he says, I have no time for meaningless meetings. The poet has accepted that he has short life. That is why he wants to live his life meaningfully, realistically. In the next stanza, the poet says that he wants to live his life with people who are realistic, who know how to laugh at their own mistakes. The realistic people who can accept the responsibility of their actions, their deeds, their mistakes. He wants to live with the people who are matured. He doesn't want to lead his life in the company of someone who is childish, who has not grown up in real sense, in chronological order. Here, further, he says that there are so many people who experience grief in their life. There is only a chain of grief, and sometimes some people can understand their grief, they can touch the hearts of these people. And the poet says that I want to live in the company of those people who can touch the hearts of these miserable people, people in difficulty. Towards the end of the poem, the poet accepts that he has very short life, and that is why he wants to live it in a meaningful way with a different approach. He doesn't want to waste his time anymore. At the end of the poem, the poet says that we have two lives, and the second begins when we realize we have only one. The second begins when we realize the meaninglessness of the first. How meaningful it is. The point of view the poet expresses is very impressive, very realistic, and this realistic point of view makes this poem realistic. The poet expresses reality of life, what we feel after spending so much years, when we come to understand that we achieved nothing and there are few years, maybe few months to achieve our goal. So we have to become serious, and we have to spend our remaining years, months, or sometimes maybe days in the company of people who are serious, who are matured. In this way, Mario De Andrade, in his poem My Soul Has a Hat, expresses his genuine feelings, genuine expectations from his life. Thank you very much for watching this video. Thank you very much.